So far our apps have been a little bit plain, so let's spice it up a little and add an image. We can add an image by using the Uiimageview. So I'll drag one of those on and just stretch them out a bit. I'm also going to add a button because we can change the image as the app goes along. Now, of course, we need some pictures. So we can add them to our project by right-clicking and saying Add Files to Imageview, or whatever project name you have. We can browse to our images. And we can do a multiple select on those. So we'll get a couple of images. And at the destination, we may want to copy those items into the project area, and I do want to do that. And if we had a folder and more files that we're adding, we could also create groups that match the folders as well. We don't have that kind of complication. We're just adding simply 2 files. So we add those files in the rear. So now I can go back to my image view and I can play with the attributes a little bit. And the first attribute, of course, is the image. We're going to put Bill Gates in there. The next attribute that's important is this mode. And right now it's scale to fill, which means that the image will be stretched in either direction in order to fill the space for the image view. Happens to look pretty good right now, but let's squish it down a little bit and you can see the effect of that. If we want to keep the aspect, we have 2 different ways of doing it. We can do an aspect fit, which will make the image fit within our image view, or we can do an aspect fill, which will keep the image's aspect ratio, but it may get cropped in one direction or another. We have a number of other options as well. Redraw gives us a redraw anytime the image view itself is resized. Center will center the image. And we have all sorts of other alignments. We can left align it. And although that moved right, it actually is left aligned because the image is much wider than the actual image view. You'll see it bop over the other way when we right align it. So I'd prefer an aspect fit. And we'll stretch this guy out again. And that looks pretty good right there. Okay. So now, of course, it's a little funny to have Bill Gates on an iOS app. So we'd like to be able to change that image. So we're going to create our connections. And of course, the first thing we'll do is create an outlet for our image view. And we'll create an action for our button. And in this action, what we want to do is we want to set the image view's image. And you'll note that that property type is a UI image. But we have files, so we need to create a UI image out of our file content. And we can do that pretty simply, there are a number of overrides for UI image, and one of them is named string. And that will take any of the files that we've added to the project and try to use them as a file source for the UI image. And there we'll change the image to Steve Jobs. Probably a little bit more appropriate. Okay, so how did we do? Oh, there's Bill of the Evil Empire. And if I tap on Change Image, we change it to Steve Jobs. So that's how you can use the image view. And now you can add a little bit more variety and spice to your apps.